Hi, this is Tammy with Tammy Creations, and today we're going to be wrapping this little turquoise teardrop. And my teardrop is not quite an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch long, and at its widest, a 1/2 inch wide. And then I've got three 3mm beads here that I'll be using, and these have an extra wide inside hole so that my 20 gauge square Argentium wire will fit through the beads. So I've got 20 gauge. This is Argentium wire from Rio Grande. This is actually 21 gauge, sorry, 21 gauge. And I've got 4 lengths, and each one is approximately 6 inches long. And then I've also got Argentium round wire, 28 gauge, and probably about 1 foot of that. So we don't need very much of that, but we'll use it for the bail. And then I've also got 1 piece of half round. This is 22 gauge half round wire, and it's Argentium as well from Rio Grande. And then you will also need, for tools, your flush cutters, chain nose or tweezer nose pliers, round nose pliers, and nylon jaw pliers if you have them. All right, so to begin, we will take our 4 wires, and finding the center, we'll begin wrapping with our half round wire. So I like to put this underneath these 4, and the flat side is facing me. So when I go around, then the round side is facing up. So I'll just go around a few times, making sure these wires stay flat. And I like to hold on to them with this nylon jaw plier because it helps to keep them nice and flat. So go around a few times and make sure they are tight, squished together, close. And then on the other side, I will trim these off in the center where they won't be seen. And then from the front, we can squish them down and together. Okay, so now I think we have to decide if we want our stone to be this way or this way. And I think we will make ours this way today. So we'll keep the point at the top, which means that we just need to make a gentle bend at the bottom here until it is the same size as our stone. So you can just start bending it upwards like this on the sides. And then I like to go ahead and turn it to the back and bend in the back sides so that the stone has a place to sit. So I just bend inward the very back wire on each side like this, and then the stone can sit on that. That will be the back. So our stone will sit right there. And when you look at it, the back, you can see that these are holding it in place. Okay, now this stone it's not terribly tall, so I maybe could have gotten away with using just 3 wires, but to be safe, I usually like to use 4. So I've got 3 coming up either side, and then the one in the back. And to keep this from falling out the front, we can make small bends here down at the bottom at the front. So we get this in here between the front two wires and grab a hold and turn it in like this. And sometimes it's easier to do when the stone isn't in there, but there we go. So now that wire is going to be coming a little bit over the top of that stone, and that will keep it in place. And then I like to just push it down against the table to make sure it gets down against the bottom there. All right, so now for the bail, we've got all of our wires coming up here. And I'm going to take one of my these back wires, and I'm going to pull it over to the side. And I'm going to begin wrapping around all of these wires, trying to keep them in order so that they're not stacking the wrong way. There we go. And we'll do that a couple times. Once it's around once, you can pull it a little bit tighter with your pliers. All right. And then we can separate these out. So the ones that are on this side, I'm going to pull over to the right, and these over to the left. And I'm going to keep 3 in the back for my bail. So I've got 2 on either side like this, and then these 3 in the back for the bail. And for the bail, what I'm going to do is take my 28 gauge wire, round wire, and I'm going to take it in between the bottom 2 wires, and then I'm going to wrap from underneath and over the bottom wire 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And so you've got your little tail here. And we can go ahead and cut that off, or you can wait and cut it off after you finish your weave, but either way. And after we've done 3 times around the bottom wire, then we're going to do twice around the bottom 2 wires. 1, 2. And then I'm going to go between the bottom 2 wires and go twice around the top 2. In between, oops, the bottom 2 and over the top 2. Okay, get this one out of the way. And then we're going to come back down the same way. So we're going to go under all 3 and go around the bottom 2 twice. Okay, and then keep pushing them together, close together. All right, so we're going to continue in this manner, going twice around the top 2 and twice around the bottom 2 until we have reached about 1 inch up, and then we can wrap it back into our bail. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay, so I continued that pattern about 1 inch, and I'm just going to press these down. And with this tail, I'm going to wrap a few times around the bottom one before I cut it off, just to keep it a little bit more secure. And then I will pull it tight and trim it off. Okay. Now I'm just going to use my finger to bend this forward or backward, sorry, to make my bail. And I'm just going to squeeze this together. And this one that was wrapping around, I'm going to undo it a tad bit and bring it over the top to capture all of these in the back, so the chain won't be able to escape. And then I'm going to trim it just a little bit, just enough that I can tuck it inside the bail here and squish it down. Okay. So now we've got our wires on the sides and I'm going to make a curl with this one. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add my beads to this one. So these are 3mm beads. And I made sure that the little hole in the bead is wide enough that it will go over my square wire. And this is 21 gauge square, so it is probably a little bit easier for them to go over than if it were 20 gauge. So I'm just going to continue that little curl so that it's kind of just a little bit off center. It's over to the side just a little bit, and bring this back around to the back for now. And then this next one I'm going to twist. So I'm just going to grab the end of it with my chain nose, tweezer nose pliers and twist, and the square wire will become a nice twisted, give it a twisted look. And I'm going to bring that around here. And then I'm going to make a little loop here at the base of the bail. Oops. And have this continue to come around. And then holding it there, I'm going to bring it back over and twist it back around the other way. Let me cut it a bit shorter, just to kind of give our bail a little bit more of a design on top of it. Let's get that over the top there. So that didn't turn out great. I'm just going to trim it a little bit more and twist to make a better curl. Okay. I find after using the copper wire that silver just doesn't move as easily as the copper. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this piece around and through the bail just to get it out of the way. Squeeze it down. And these three in the back that were from the bail, I'm going to pull up and trim short. And then I'm going to bend them up and around like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and pull these front ones up just a little bit more so that my stone isn't going to come out there. All right, and I'm going to bring this this wire from the left over to the right. And I don't want to cover this stone up too much because it's so pretty. I'm going to make a little loop here. And trim that. There. Oops. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to cross over on top of that one and bring around to the back. And I'm going to make a curl with it in the back. Let me just cut that a little bit shorter. I'm going to curl this in the back here. There. All right. Now I think I will go ahead and attach this with some half round wire, just so that this curl in the front doesn't get away from us. So we get another small piece of my half round wire. My cat wants in. Okay, and maybe once more around through that loop and under the first wire, pull it through, and then we can trim those off. And tuck them in. There. All right. So there you have a turquoise teardrop, and I did get these beautiful teardrop turquoise stones from the Turquoise Mousse. And right now it's Black Friday. They have a sale going on, so you should check it out. Thanks for watching.